Even though the royal family claims they're not racist,
I'm very much not a racist fan.
not everyone believes them, especially ever since this crazy clip of Camilla blew up online.
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
This clip first surfaced in 2022, and it showed Camilla doing something crazy. She had this really awkward interaction with a little black girl, and people immediately started accusing her of racism, which makes sense when you look at the clip. What was Camilla thinking when she did this? For some reason, she wanted to get the little girl's attention, but instead of talking to her or touching her hand, she just sort of grabbed her sleeve. It looked like she was afraid to actually touch the little girl's skin, which is so disturbing. It was such an awkward way to get the girl's attention, and it really made everyone question Camilla. People started accusing her of racism, and it's not hard to see why. A lot of people were uncomfortable with Camilla's behavior, and it actually took away from what the event was really about. Camilla was only around that little girl because she was visiting Bernardo's nursery in Bow in London, UK. She was supposed to give the kids Paddington Bear stuffed animals. After Queen Elizabeth passed away, many people wanted to honor the late monarch, and to pay tribute to her, they started leaving these Paddington Bear toys at the royal parks. This was in reference to a sketch that Elizabeth did with the fictional character.
Thank you for everything.
That's very kind.
Because people left so many of these toys, Camilla asked to have them clean, and she then decided to give them to some of the vulnerable children at Bernardo's nursery. And that seemed like a really nice thing to do, but Camilla's interaction with that little girl overshadowed everything else. People just couldn't understand why she seemingly had a problem with just touching the girl normally, and some couldn't help but compare her to the late Princess Diana. Diana was never this awkward. She was actually known for being a very warm and welcoming person. One of the most amazing things she did was her work with HIV patients. She did a lot to fight against the stigma that surrounded the condition. There was a time when people thought that HIV could be spread by casual contact. This was obviously misinformation, but a lot of people believed it. Diana didn't though, and she used her position as a beloved public figure to spread awareness. She would shake hands with known HIV patients. And she was also unafraid to hug little kids who had the virus. I mean, look at this photo. It just really seems like Diana and Camilla couldn't be any more different. Diana would never grab a little girl's sleeve so strangely. Camilla honestly looked like she was afraid of touching the girl or something. It's no wonder that so many people criticized her for the footage. That being said, it looks like she might have had a reason for her behavior. More footage from that day was released after that one clip went viral, and it seems like Camilla was just trying to compliment that little girl's bracelet. You can see her commenting on the bracelet here.
You're gonna finish your bracelet? Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna do your finish your bracelet?
Wow! Incredible!
So it seems like Camilla wasn't trying to be weird or anything like that. She was probably just trying to not scare the little girl. The truth is that the kids at the nursery were all vulnerable. Many of them have suffered harm and trauma, so maybe what Camilla did was actually the right thing. She didn't want to intimidate the little girl by just grabbing her hand out of nowhere. I mean, it was still a pretty awkward moment. I feel like she definitely could have done it less clumsily, but it seems like the awkwardness didn't come from a racist place. Then again, that doesn't mean that Camilla definitely isn't racist, because this wasn't the only incident involving her that raised a lot of eyebrows. When Harry and Meghan did their Oprah interview in 2021, they revealed something shocking. Meghan said that there was a conversation that the royal family had about her and Harry's future child, and what the family was supposedly concerned about is insane.
Concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What? Harry and Meghan didn't say who initiated that conversation. They didn't reveal who had all these concerns, but a lot of people assumed that it was probably Camilla. Obviously, we don't know this for sure, but when royal biographer Tim Bauer wrote his book Revenge, Meghan, Harry, and the War Between the Windsors, he made a pretty shocking claim. He alleged that there was a story going around about Camilla saying something pretty crazy. Supposedly, she said to Harry, "Wouldn't it be funny if your child had ginger afro hair?" Harry apparently laughed at first, but when he saw Meghan's reaction to that comment, he allegedly became really angry. If this story is true, then Camilla might have some issues with racism. Obviously, Harry and Meghan never confirmed that it was her who said all that. It might have been someone else, but I can see why a lot of people think that it was probably her. I mean, she's behaved really questionably before. When she and Charles went to a kalo at Nunavut in Canada in 2017, they did something pretty disrespectful. For the occasion of their visit, the locals put together a performance. Presumably, they wanted to share their culture with the royal family. Part of the performance was katajak, which is traditional Inuit throat singing. It's usually performed by two Inuit women who stand face to face and sing a duet upset with each other. Obviously, this is a big part of the local culture. It's a great source of pride for the Inuit, and it's part of their heritage. So it's actually really nice that they decided to share this with Charles and Camilla, but their reaction to it wasn't exactly appropriate. I mean, just look at this clip.
You serious?
While the two women were performing, Charles and Camilla were laughing. Camilla wasn't even looking at the performers. She was basically having a full-on laughing fit while looking in Charles's general direction. Honestly, it was pretty disrespectful, and things like this are why people are so quick to accuse Camilla of racism. It just seems like she might at least be a little prejudiced, and that's just not okay. It's also not a good look for the current Queen of England. I mean, she and Charles now represent the royal family, and they also represent the UK, so it makes sense that the people can sometimes be really critical of her, because what she does actually matters, and if she comes across as racist, then that reflects badly on a lot of people. We can't know for sure if she actually is racist or not, but what we do know is that she's no Diana. Diana probably wouldn't have these kinds of things said about her. People knew who she was. She was always ready to stand up for those in need. She wasn't awkward, she was gracious, and she was also really kind. I'm not saying that Camilla can't be those things, but Diana really was one of a kind. She stood up for what she believed in, and she was always trying to educate people and stand against prejudice, which just isn't how Camilla comes across. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? What are your thoughts on that clip of Camilla with the little black girl? Do you think the royal family might be racist? And who do you think made those crazy comments about Harry and Meghan's child? Let me know in the comments below.